So in my last video, I made a prediction about how much the Steam Machine would cost, and it looks like, well, it's probably going to be a bit more than I was hoping. There's some new data out there that makes me think this thing is probably going to be a little more expensive than I said before, so today we're going to talk through what that reason is, and I'll give you a new prediction. I looked at, state of the market, state of people's wallets, and I looked at, of course, like I said in the video, Moore's Law is Dead's estimate on how the different parts were going to cost. And, well, some things have changed since then. And I've got two reasons that I have to update my number today for you. But we'll get to those in a second. I've also got a correction from the last video. I said that the Steam Machine would come in 512 or 1 terabyte, possibly 2. Well, it's actually 512 or 2. There is no 1 terabyte option. So just want to clarify that real quick. And now, before we get into the rest of the video, let me go ahead and say, please like this video and subscribe if you enjoy it and you'd like to see more. Okay, so our first piece of evidence is recently Linus of Linus Tech Tips went and interviewed Valve about the Steam Machine and got some really cool inside information on it, but they weren't going to tell him the price. And whenever he tried to guess the price, he said, same thing I was saying, $500. And, well, apparently everybody's face in the room just went blank or sad or just, they were not happy because it's not going to be that cheap. And they're worried that we're going to think so. And now it's not for good reason. This is a PC and PC prices are different than consoles, but at the same time, this thing appears to be designed in a way that it's going to be competing with the consoles to some extent. So it can't be quite up to where it normally is. But all of that said, yeah, it's not going to be 500. Which makes me think, what was that original price? Was it 600? 700? Hopefully not that high, because the other piece of data we have today is that RAM is going through the roof. RAM is shooting up 2 times, 3 times the price all across various industries, thanks to the demand from all these data centers they're building, presumably. There may be more to it than that, but nobody seems to know exactly why other than that. And so yeah, for the Steam Machine, there was that original estimate on the cost of the RAM that I was basing my guess off of, and well, that price is up by 181% now. The RAM for the system alone was going to be about $48, and now it's going to be $135. And so that updates our grand total of the potential cost for this thing to $512 instead of $425. That's a significant increase and definitely is going to shift the price, because the RAM cost $87 more than it did 2 weeks ago. And so now this is a weird number. They could round up and add a whole extra $100 to it, or they could eat a little bit of the cost and only raise it by $50. And so if that original price they were shooting for was $600, well, now it may be $650 or $700. If it was $700, that much more. But, as I said in my last video, I don't think this machine makes any sense at a price of $700, $800. That's the price where you can start to build your own PC and get roughly the same performance, or maybe even better for about the same price. This machine is supposed to be a baseline, cheap, get your foot in the door, entry-level device, and it can't be more than $600 or $700. Like, anything more than $700, and this thing is going to be a complete flop. And so that makes me believe that maybe the original price was $600. It feels a bit more reasonable. And now that we've had to add this extra money onto it, that means that, well, we're looking at probably somewhere between $650 and $700. Maybe even $750. And now there are additional factors into the price. There is a possibility they sell the system without a controller, maybe it's $50 cheaper, or maybe there's a bundle and Half-Life 3 actually does come out with it and they have it bundled with it for an extra $50 more. So these are going to be factors also, so let's focus on just the price of the console with controller included, no game. Additionally, tariffs in the US and all sorts of uncertainty in the world is causing a lot of these prices to fluctuate. More parts may go up. GPUs are going up as well. Hopefully that won't directly affect this, though. But there's a lot of unknown factors, so it's kind of up in the air and things could still change. If RAM prices go back down, maybe Valve will lower the price. Or maybe they'll just get some extra profit out of that inflated price. But for now, my new prediction is that somewhere between $650 and $700 is the price. I'm going to really hope that $650 or $649.99 is the price of the Steam Machine, because much more than that, and I am afraid it's not going to be as potent of a catalyst in the industry as I was saying in that last video. And when will we find out for sure? Could be any day Valve just drops it on us. It could be early next year around January, February, or maybe, like I said before, maybe in a couple weeks at the Game Awards we get some kind of big reveal of more details, including the price and maybe even the date. But that's about all I have for you today. I'm predicting about $650, $700, hopefully $650 for this thing. We'll see how close I get once we all find out, hopefully pretty soon. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it and you want to see more from me. I didn't have any exclusive sources or anything in here. I'm just, making my best educated guesses here with my own knowledge and the things I see in the industry. But I've been pretty close to my past predictions, so we'll see if this second prediction, obviously the first one was wrong, but yeah. Hopefully it's not going to be much more than I'm thinking, because I really want to see this thing succeed. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.